Hello everyone and welcome back to another NFL video. In this video, I'll be giving my 2023 NFL round 1 mock draft. Before I get into it, I do want to mention that this is a predictive mock draft, so I'm going off of what I think the teams will do instead of who I would take. And then also, there's only one trade, so it's not a mock draft without trades. It's just that, it's hard for me to predict trades. There'll definitely be more on draft day. 3 or 4. I think it'll be like 3 this year because, there's not much like this. It's not like very talented. It's not like a very high end, talented draft class. Like, it's pretty good with depth. Second and third round guys, but the first round it's like not that very good. So I don't think there'll be any trades inside the first round. And lastly, I also want to mention that there's not gonna be that much editing in this video. Only just me putting the number of the pick, overall like where we are. That's about it. So it's gonna be more of a podcast video. So like, there won't be much on the screen. Number 1 overall, I have the Panthers taking Bryce Young. This should be, pretty easy. Apparently the Will Levis, like draft odds or something, the rows, I don't care. I'm taking Bryce Young. That's what they should do. If they take anyone else, they lost the trade in my opinion. They gave all that up to get here. They better take Bryce Young. Number 2 overall, I have the Texans taking Will Anderson. Now, I do think that CJ Stroud is, very good, obviously, but it does not make sense here at this point, I guess, with what we've been hearing. I think that they're going to take defense. They're going to build a defense, at least with their first pick, maybe 12th overall, maybe offensive player. We'll see what I have later in my mock draft. But I have been taking Will Anderson because, I think they need D-line. Jalen Carter, even though I think is better, and most people do, he'll probably end up falling a little bit. So, if they're going to take D-line, I'll take Carter. But going off of what they'll do, they'll take Anderson Jr. They love him, apparently. Of course, DeMeco Ryan's a defensive guy, so I will not be surprised. I actually think it's most likely going to be Will Anderson anyway. Then the Cardinals at 3. This pick is, a lot more different now because with the Stroud stock falling, it seems that no one's going to actually want to trade up to number 3 for him. So now I have the Cardinals sticking and picking. I have them taking Tyree Wilson. Again, I'll take Jalen Carter, but I think he's going to fall a little bit more. Me personally, not a big fan of Tyree Wilson, but I think the NFL is with his traits. That's why Trayvon Walker went number 1 overall. So length, size. I think Tyree Wilson has that, and you can't be teached. So I am going this high. Then the Colts, I have taking Stroud. I could see them trading up to 3 just in case someone else trades up, and they want to, of course, still get their guy. But now they have a 3-way pick between Stroud, Levis, and Richardson. I have been taking Stroud. It would be really interesting to see who they would take if Will Levis and Anthony Richardson were the remaining guys. But if they're not, I think it should be easy pick of Stroud. Then at 5, I have the Seahawks taking Jalen Carter. I think there's where the drop stops. I think the Seahawks do kind of value their the character of guys they take, but I don't think he falls after this point. Like the Texans and Cardinals take D-line, and Carter's better than both. Seattle here, I think this is the spot where he goes. Then the 6th, the Lions. I have them taking Devon Witherspoon. D-line is kind of something to think about. The corner is the other one. Maybe there's like a 10% chance at a quarterback, but I don't think you do that here. So I think Witherspoon, if not Gonzalez. There's not really any other D lineman I would take here. Maybe Nolan Smith, but still have to pick 18 to work with that. Then at 7, I have the Raiders taking Anthony Richardson, sticking and picking there. No trading up for him. They apparently want cornerback, and potentially offensive tackle. I hope that's not true. But Richardson stick and pick. He definitely would make sense to sit for a couple of years. Most likely anyway, Garoppolo would have been the week 1 starter, and most likely would be the whole year 1 starter on his first contract, the first year of his contract. But there's a quarterback who definitely should not play right away anyway. So maybe even not in the first 2 years. He's still a young quarterback. We'll see what happens. I am pretty high on him. Of course, he's been robust though. At 8, I have the Falcons taking Christian Gonzalez. I like this pick. They need. Even with the Kuda trade, I still think they do need corner. I like this right here. Gonzalez, very good corner. Gonzalez is so good because he got the size, athleticism, speed, and technique all in one. And he's pretty young as well. I think he's 21 years old right now. Very, very good combination. You don't see that very often. So I think he definitely should go in this range, and I like him to the Falcons, even though D-line is also a pick to watch out for. Then at pick 9, I have the Bears taking Paris Johnson Jr. I do, you know, I think this is the O-line pick if Carter's not there. But, you know, is Paris Johnson Jr. really the best O-lineman in the draft? Probably not. I think Darnell Wright's better. I think Peter Skoronski, at least on a talent standpoint, is better. Is he a tackle in the league? We'll see. If he's a guard, he won't be valued as high. But, you know, Johnson does have a lot of upside. Good size already, but, you know, needs to improve technique, needs to improve pass pro. But regardless, Bears at 9 is most definitely a O-line spot. Then at pick 10, at the Eagles taking Nolan Smith. I also like this one a lot based off, you know, what I think will actually happen. I think this is definitely a very realistic pick. You know, you have to look to replace Brandon Brooks, who is back, but, you know, 1-year deal. Anyway, he might not even like hold down the starting spot. Like, Nolan Smith is just such a, you know, splat, like, you know, like he's just so good. I mean, he's undersized, sure, but he's still so good against the run. You know, a tough guy to block in pass protection because, you know, he's so fast. He's pretty good. Got injured this past year, but he's definitely a beast. Eagles can take a lot of different stuff, you know, if they want. Corner kind of makes sense here, but I think it's too early for anyone else like, you know, Porter or Devontae Banks. At 11, I have the Titans taking Peter Skoronski. I know Will Levis is on the board, but I don't think they really like him, and I don't think they would take him if they don't really like him. So I haven't going Peter Skoronski. I feel like the Titans will either be a quarterback team or an O-line team, potentially a receiver team. But Levis, I don't think they would want him. Skoronski is here. Take him. Figure out where you will play him after this, because he is a top 2, you know, talent-wise O-lineman in the draft, maybe the first, maybe the best. I mean, so I like this pick. I know it's O-line. I know they're a pretty bad team at this point. You know, they've lost a lot. They're losing more. You know, Henry might be gone in a year. You know, his contract is up. But Skoronski, anyway, I think is a good pick. Then at 12, I have the first receiver off the board, Jackson Smith-Njigba to the Texans. This is about the range he'll go at. You know, for a couple months, you're going back and forth. Like, is he going to be even in the first round? We heard some teams had a 3rd round grade on him, but now we're hearing he'll go in the teens. He'll probably be the first receiver taken. And, you know, 12, I think, is pretty much where, you know, it really starts. Like, you know, the best case scenario for him. I think he's a good piece to complement what they already have. Nico Collins, more of a bigger guy. Robert Woods, I mean, he's a veteran anyway, but definitely not the same type of guy, more of a possession guy. But Njigba, slot guy, but, you know, he has a lot to work with. Very productive year in 2021. I like this pick here as well. At 13, I have the Packers. This is one of the toughest picks to make. Now, of course, the Packers are at 13 after trading for Rodgers, or trading away Rodgers. But this is a really tough choice. I thought of Lucas Van Ness for a while, but then I settled on, you know, a skill position player. Then it was between tight end and receiver. I decided if I would take receiver, it'd be Jordan Addison. If I took tight end, it'd be Dalton Kincaid. I'm settling on Jordan Addison, wide receiver from USC. Like, do I think receiver is more, you know, valued than tight end? Of course, but, you know, if, like, you know, Addison, I'm not sure if it's really his range anymore. If he was in the 2022 draft class, probably, because he was so good in 2021 with Pitt and, you know, Kenny Pickett, but he played kind of worse this year. He should still go in the first round, most likely. Is this a little high? Yes. Is it kind of funny to take, you know, receiver the year in the first round, the draft after Rodgers leaves? Yeah, but I mean, I think it makes sense. O-line is also a possibility, but, you know, I think they need skill position players right now. At 14, I have the Patriots taking Darnell Wright. I like this a lot. Wright could go even earlier than this. You know, if anyone's still sleeping on Darnell Wright, it's going to be a mistake. He's going to go high. So when it happens, don't be surprised. He might fall because of some off-the-field issues, but guess what? The Patriots are 14th overall. If there's a guy with off-the-field issues, he's going to go to the Patriots, and he's going to be very good. So that's how that works. You know, remember Christian Barmore? Remember before the draft in 2021, we heard about potential off-the-field issues? Well, it's pretty good right now with the Patriots. The Patriots are good at getting guys straightened out. So even if this whole off-the-field stuff is true with Darnell Wright, he'll be good with the Patriots. Instant right tackle. You know, Isaiah Wynn, they're letting walk in free agency. Was pretty good at first in his career, but you know, last year battled injury and also was not pretty good at all. At 15, I have the Jets taking Anton Harrison. This might be a little bit of a steal. I'm sorry, not a steal. God, what was it called? My team does it all the time. It's a reach. There you go. I should know what that is as a Raider fan, but, you know, I do think that is the case. The thing about the tackle class this year is that, like, it's pretty good high end, but the problem is it's not very good after that, you know. So I think that teams are going to kind of, like, I think there'll be a run on tackle in the first round, because like in the second round, the guys available are gonna be like Matthew Bergeron, Blake Freeland, you know, some other guys. Dawan Jones is not a first round talent in my opinion. But I think it'll be a little bit of a run before that drop off happens. I understand, you know, Broderick Jones was on the board, you know, more popular name, but I like Harrison more. Pretty good left tackle, very good pass protector. I like him for the Jets. At 16, I have the Commanders taking Joey Porter Jr. They absolutely need corner really badly. Do I love Porter after watching his film? Not really, but he's still a first round guy, yeah. Yeah, I think it's more of a late first round talent, maybe early second round talent, as I mentioned in my scouting report video of him recently. But they need corner. It can make sense. I heard Bijan Robinson before. Bijan Robinson, you know, could at this point be gone in the draft, but also couldn't. You know, there's so many teams that could take him, but also so many teams that need other positions besides from, you know, the least valuable position in the draft. So we'll see where he goes in my mock draft, but I like to pick with the Commanders. At 17, I have the Steelers taking Broderick Jones. The same thing I just said at pick 15. After this, there's a huge drop off at tackle unless I'm missing someone. There's no one I'd really like be excited about at this point. So Steelers, I think I'm gonna take a tackle now. Corner they kind of need, they can get later. I'm not worried about that. Because you know it's so deep at corner this year, the draft. Broderick Jones, I don't love him, but you gotta take him here before the huge drop off. You need O-line badly. I mean, they need interior as well. I will not be surprised if they take interior, but you know, I think it's too early for, you know, Osiris Torrance, maybe by a little bit, and, you know, John Michael Schmitz. Broderick Jones, I like it. At 18, I have the Lions taking Kalijah Kancey. As I mentioned, with their 6th overall pick, that pick could be a D lineman, but I don't think that, you know, the top 3 guys you would really want. Maybe Deontay Banks is, you know, a high-end guy in the draft. Depends on who you ask, maybe. But I think that you take the really good corner at 6, whether it's Witherspoon or Gonzalez. For me, I had them taking Witherspoon. And then at 18, take a good D lineman. Lucas Van Ness might be there. Miles Murphy might be there. Kalijah Kancey might be there. Molly Smith, if you really want to take him in the first round. I mean, he might go in the first round, but probably not this high. You know, and you know, Van Ness, as I mentioned. I like the pick here. They kind of need more D tackle and D end. I just settled on Kalijah Kancey because of the upside. I do like Miles Murphy though. I love Will McDonald. I'll mention this now just in case I forget. Will McDonald does not go in the first round in my mock draft. I would more than likely think he does go in the first round in real life. I love Will McDonald. I'm not, you know, so if he goes in the first round, he's really good. You know, I want to at least be known that I really am high on Will McDonald. I don't have him going in the first round, but I am high on him. And 19, I have the Bucks taking Will Levis. Yes, Will Levis to drop in my mock draft. Maybe he goes number 1, and this whole betting odds thing is true. But really, I think he falls. You know, it's been a crazy turnaround. You know, not long ago, because we talked about how the quarterback draft class is not exactly great, but you know, we've seen mock drafts, right? Where if you've been watching mock drafts, where the first 4 picks are quarterbacks. So, you know, Panthers take, you know, quarterback. Texans take a quarterback. Someone trades up to number 3. That's a quarterback. 4 the Colts take the 4th quarterback, and then no other one until the second where, you know, Hendon Hooker will go. But now that might not be the case. Richardson might slide a little bit. Levis might slide a little bit, and Stroud maybe a slight, you know, drop. I had him going to 4. You know, that's not much of a drop anyway, but you know, if his stock was a little higher, someone could trade up to number 3 to get him. But so yeah, I have Levis dropping. The Bucks need a lot. But I think the Bucks are a team that's willing to take this chance on, you know, Levis right now. I think it makes a little bit more sense. They can take a lot though. Like there's a lot of things that they can take that it's really not a bad pick. You know, Bijan Robinson, even here, they need a lot, but you might as well get one of the most talented players in the draft if you really want. A lot of picks will make sense here for the Bucks. At 20, Seattle takes Osiris Torrance. This is about where I see him going. Like besides the 20th overall pick, there's not really that many teams I would say will really take him in the first round. Maybe like, you know, the Giants. Maybe like you know, I'm not sure who else would even take him that really needs an interior line. But the Seattle Seahawks do kind of need him. You know, they cut Gabe Jackson. Torrance, I think, is very good. He's a mean downhill run blocker. Good size, not the most athletic, but he's still pretty good. And, you know, he can still, you know, get around to, you know, block a guy coming, you know, trying to cross his face. But he's pretty good right away starting at guard. So for the Seahawks, I have been taking Jalen Carter and Osiris Torrance, working on the interior of that offensive line. Or sorry, the interior of the trenches, you know, both interior, both O-line and D-line. At 21, I have the Chargers taking Zay Flowers. I have thought about this for a while. I kind of, you know, thought tight end at first. Now I'm going to go receiver. The receiver I, you know, definitely thought of right away was Zay Flowers. Playmaker right there. The reason you got to take Zay Flowers if you're taking a receiver is to, you know, complement what they already have. Receiver is not much of a need, right? But the whole point of taking a receiver is to complement what you have. If you take, let's say, Quentin Johnston, that's Mike Williams basically at best, if he lives up to the potential. So that's not really complementing what you have. You know what I mean? If Addison was there, that's not really doing the same thing either. That's pretty much a young Keenan Allen, might as well say. If you take in Jigba, that's like almost Josh Palmer if he plays in the slot, because I think Palmer sometimes lines up in the slot. Maybe I'm incorrect, but say Flowers, maybe he goes higher. He could be the first receiver off the board, but he's a playmaker. The size is not great, but he still has been very productive, consistent at Boston College. I like it for the Chargers. At 22, I had the Ravens taking Deontay Banks. Not a receiver I'd really take here. I mean, Quentin Johnston is, I think, is like a slight reach here. Plus, you don't really need, I don't like how people say you should get a receiver when all they do is run the ball. They don't really need one. They paid OBJ $15 million to run block, and now you want to spend a first round pick on a receiver? Unlikely, but still, pretty good options here. Deontay Banks is probably a first round pick. I mean, he's very athletic, good size as well. Not the best technique, but he's a lot of good to work with. So and the upside is pretty good as well. At 23, the first and only trade that I have, the Vikings trade down with the Buffalo Bills, who get Bijan Robinson. First, I'll say the trade conversation I had. So of course, the Bills trade up, get 23. The Vikings get pick 27, obviously. So trade down 4 spots, as well as get a 3rd round pick this year, which is pick 91 overall, and next year, 2024, a 2nd round pick. So that's what the Vikings get in return. Here at 23, obviously, I said the Bills take Bijan Robinson. I've heard now that the Bills, for a while now, that the Bills could trade up for a either interior offensive lineman or a skill position player. And you have the best one in the draft available. So at skill position. So I think they will take him right here. The Bills, I understand, don't really need running back, but James Cook, I know they have James Cook. The thing is, he's more of a receiving back. Kamara is like one of the only, and Kamara and Eckler are the two, at least I can think of now, that are like the receiving backs. They can also be good rushing the ball, like as a running back 1, as a running back A, whatever you want to say. James Cook, I'm not sure if that's the case with his rushing ability. That's why, look, James Cook is not going to get forgotten about. He'll still have a good rookie contract there, good time under his rookie contract. We'll probably get a nice deal done after that with some team. Maybe the Bills gets, maybe they re-signed him. But he'll be productive, but just as a receiving back, not as a rushing back. Bijan Robinson will be their main guy. The Bills are not a team I really see taking a defense. Honestly, I think they're gonna kind of just stack offense as much as they can for Josh Allen. O-line makes a lot of sense, but I'm not anyone I would really take right now. Center, Michael Schmitz is kind of a possibility here, because Mitch Morse is not going to be there for that much longer. He was good, but the time clock is running out on him. We'll see what they do here, if they trade up, obviously. 24, I have the Jaguars taking Dalton Kincaid. Do I love this pick? No. I know I say I like this pick here for every pick I've done so far, pretty much, but I don't exactly love this pick. Now, first at tight end, Evan Ingram, pretty good year, but he's also on the franchise tag, right? But the thing is, you also need to build for the future. Dalton Kincaid has definitely more upside than Evan Ingram does. Evan Ingram probably has, this past year was good of Evan Ingram, but that's probably his best. I don't think he'll put up a better year than that. But the thing about that is, I understand they want corner and receiver. I've heard that for months. The problem is, there's no one I'd really take at receiver here. And I also don't agree that they need a receiver anyway. Who would you take? Quentin Johnston, Jalen Hyatt? I will not do that. Okay, fine. Corner, outside corner. Who's there? Well, on your team, right? Tyson Campbell, really good year last year, underrated corner. You cut Shaq Griffin. You have Darius Williams, but he's outside corner. Sorry, slot corner. I thought of Brian Branch here, but he's in a safety / slot. Darius Williams is more of a slot corner anyway. That's why I will not take another slot here in Brian Branch. And there's no one I'd really take at outside corner. I think it'd be a little bit of a reach on Manuel Forbes and on Tyreek Stevenson, DJ Turner, whoever you want to say would be the 5th corner off the board. So I end up taking Kincaid to stack their offense. At 25, the Giants, I have them taking John Michael Schmitz. Not really a team that they could take receiver, but I'm not really sure that will happen. They still have a lot they can take. Corner again, but it's still a little bit too early to take the 5th corner off the board in my opinion. Plus a lot of depth, as I mentioned. They can get a corner later. Michael Schmitz is very good. He's very consistent. He's a very good run blocker. He's a starting center right away. Lost John Feliciano, who played center for you last year. So, a lot of stuff is a need. Guard is also kind of a need. Maybe they take Steve Avila, who could also play center in the league. Avila could be a first-round pick. Very well could be. He might even go higher than Torrance. Not where Torrance went, but I'm saying maybe Torrance does not go as high as I had him at 28th overall. But I think you should take center here. Tackle, is not really, needs to be addressed right now, because Andrew Thomas is good at left tackle. Kind of a questionable pick, when they made it, because could have took Jedrick Wills, Mekhi Becton, Tristan Wirfs, and this guy Mekhi Becton. Sorry, not Mekhi Becton. Andrew Thomas. They took Thomas. That was kind of surprising. A lot of people thought Jedrick Wills was the best lineman. Anyway, in that class, that's 3 years ago. Back to now, and you have Evan Neal at right tackle. That's developing. So not a good year last year, but he can still develop. So I think center is a good pick here. At 26, I have the Cowboys taking Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer, I feel like the reason he might not go higher than Kincaid is because his upside's maybe not as good. Maybe that's his floor is pretty good, but maybe not his upside. So I have heard, by at least 2 sources that he could, not that are mine, of course, but 2 sources that the Cowboys really like Mayer. It's a predictive mock draft. I'm going off of that. They take Michael Mayer. Payne, 2 rookies last year, Peyton Hendershot and Jake Ferguson. Not really any I'm not sure if any of those guys can be really starters in the league, so that's why I'll take Michael Mayer here. 27, the Vikings trade back and get Quentin Johnston. I didn't love this pick. I wanted defense, but nothing was really there that I loved. They need corner, they need a bunch of stuff, honestly. But I'm taking Quentin Johnston. Their O-line is finally set for the first time in a long time. I know a lot of people don't like Garrett Bradbury. I mean, who would you even take here at center if you wanted to? If you love to play center, I'm not sure about that. Anyway, they re-signed him to a 1-year deal, Garrett Bradbury. Johnston is available. He does complement Jefferson because he's a little bit different than him, and he's definitely different from KJ Osborne, who's more of a slot receiver. At 28, I have the Bengals taking Lucas Van Ness. This pick might seem questionable, but here's the thing: the Bengals are very good. They don't have any needs. I've heard that they need, or not need, but would like to build more on the D line. Here's the thing: the Bengals, a very good team, very good all around, don't have any needs. What does that type of team do? Take a high upside guy. Lucas Van Ness, defensive end. He is a raw player, but has a lot of potential. His run defense is not that good. But the thing about his run defense is that the traits he does have, power and length, can be used to be good in the runs. Right now, he's not very good against the run. In the NFL, he can be because he already has the power and the length. Pass rushing, upside there, but again, a little bit raw. But really good power, as I mentioned, and of course the unteachable length. A little bit small to play on the inside, pretty big for the outside. He can still play there, obviously. That's what Tyree Wilson will do, for example. Same with Miles Murphy, but definitely a big player. Played a lot at different places for Iowa. I think he's a versatile guy that can get on the field. At 29, I have the Saints taking Brian Mercy. The Indian D-line, I just took anyone that I really thought was available. That's the best one. Same with the Lions at 18. They could take D-tackle, they could take D-end. I took Brian Mercy. I think he'll just go higher. This is around where he'll go. Would I think Miles Murphy over Brian Mercy? Yeah, I would, in my opinion. Miles Murphy's overrated for no reason. I'm hearing he was not as good in 2022. I saw him dominate FSU and Boston College. Not Boston College, the other another game he played. I saw him absolutely dominate. So, and even Syracuse, he had a pretty solid game. I did not see any game where he got shut down. You know what I mean? So I don't like the whole Miles Murphy stock falling. He's very good. He's better than Tyree Wilson, in my opinion. Before I watched the film, I thought Wilson was better. After the film, it's no doubt in my mind Miles Murphy's better than Tyree Wilson. It's a predictive mock draft. Tyree Wilson's at 3. Miles Murphy, you'll see, is in the first round, I will say. But Brian Mercy anyway. He's the tough thing about him is he is balanced, right? That's solid. Good against the pass, or solid, I guess, against the pass and the run. But he most plays that you watch him, he doesn't do much, you know what I mean? Against the run or pass. That's why I don't love him. Great athleticism, highly ranked high school prospect. If you care about that, I don't really care about at least interesting background information. At 30, the Eagles take Brian Branch. Brian Branch could definitely go higher than this, but a nickel corner is a tough spot to really find him place in the draft form. Dax Hill last year went higher than I thought he would in the first round. I don't really like Dax Hill either. Brian Branch is not the best coverage guy, even though he plays in the slot, but he's a very good tackler. Only a 2.3 missed tackle rate, percentage. Very good stuff there. One of the highest I've ever seen. The highest I've ever seen doesn't mean I've seen all of them though, out of any draft class. But you need to replace Gardner Johnson. Who is Gardner Johnson? A half slot, half safety guy. Brian Branch is pretty much that. He might be he definitely could be a full-time slot in the NFL. But if not, he's still the half corner, half slot, half safety. So it's a perfect replacement. It's good value. He can go earlier than this. He should definitely go in the first round. And finally, pick 31. The Chiefs have been taking Miles Murphy. pretty much like it's 50-50. If they take a DN, it's gonna be Miles Murphy or Will McDonald. I love McDonald. I like Murphy. You know, I haven't taken Murphy, but they can take both. Now, if there's like a receiver on the board that they can really take, you know, like Johnson, that could happen. Even tight end, like at least at some point in the draft. But and tackle, but again, the run on tackles was deep in the first round. You're not gonna like reach for other guys at this point. So that I would take Murphy. Anyway, that was my 2023 NFL Round 1 mock draft. I'm Marto, and thank you for watching.